Verse 15. Then Moses went up on the mountain, and the cloud covered the mountain. So yes, Moses and Joshua went because Moses, like he understood that he's going to go for a while. That's why he left people, then Aaron and her as well, to take care, because this is going to be a while. This is not for 5 minutes outing here. And why he took Joshua. And so, but ultimately, Moses is going to be the only one to go up into the cloud. It's like here, he went up and the cloud covered the mountain. So he's now under this cloud covering as well. You can go and look at those videos I made up in Sikkim with the cloud covering the mountains. I mentioned this a number of times. Verse 16, the glory of the Lord dwelt on Mount Sinai, and cloud covered it 6 days. And on the 7th day, he called to Moses out of the midst of the cloud. So what ultimately was this cloud was now then this glory of the Lord. It symbolized as well this glory of the Lord. And it dwelt there for 6 days. Moses just there in this cloud for 6 days. Nothing said, nothing done, just 6 days waiting. It's only on the 7th day that God called out to Moses. So he had to learn to wait as well. And I kind of think, I was this morning thinking, it's actually kind of nice being back here in Africa where people are more laid back. Like we got on a motorbike and the guy, so I got an Uber motorbike to come here. And he was so relaxing and so taking his time and typing in everything. And it was like, oh no, I want to get to the park, I want to get. And then I was like, it's actually kind of relaxing to not be always in a rush, just to kind of sometimes, like they say, our spirits needs to keep off our bodies. The Maasai people actually here in Kenya. Yeah. And so a bit like here, he's going to be away from. If God started speaking with him immediately, then maybe the people down there would have like, what? Okay, here comes Moses. Okay, fine. But with God wasting from our point of view, human point of view, a week, right? That then as an extra week it was up there, which might be the time that these people started getting anxious there below. Moses not coming back, and we need to make a golden calf. So maybe if God immediately started and Moses would have been back, then his golden calf would have. Or maybe it's just as well that this is a test for the people ultimately. Are they going to? I mean, God knew what's in their hearts. It had to come out. They had to see that, gee whiz, just now here where we signed this, 40 days later, we're already making a golden calf. So I think it was ultimately part of God's plan. Yes, 40 again, the idea of perfection. That's why he's 40 days up there. And he only needed 33 days for the giving of the rest. But I mean, even then, he didn't need 33 days for the giving of the rest. So, yeah, it's like Jesus waiting after the death of Lazarus. It would not have made a difference. Lazarus would have been dead even if he went down immediately. And even here, they would have made the golden calf even, if not then later. And so it's not ultimately, time is God's. And yeah, it's God's. And this is, Moses had to learn as well here, this lesson of waiting just on God. And we need to learn that lesson, waiting on God. But because time is God's, ultimately. This morning I was kind of just started recording here. I was thinking, I'm close to the 100th chapter, but there's still 1,500 or so left. And I have no idea if I'll be alive to finish it all. No idea. But I know what I want to do is I want to get through as much as I can, and God knows how many I will. And it's not my job to get X amount of subscribers, all those kinds of things. God knows what he's doing, and I need to trust him. I need to fully trust him. If I don't get through it all, it would be great if I can. If I don't get, then that is what is said to the glory of God, prayerfully. And that is then what's God's plan. Because our lives is in his hands. He knows what he's doing. So waiting 7 days, 6 days, and then starting on the 7th day is not such a big thing, right? Because we belong to God. his timing, not our timing. So he called to Moses out in the end of the verse. Verse 17. Now the appearance of the glory of the Lord was like a devouring fire on the top of the mountain in the sight of the people of Israel. So this, what they saw was like this massive fire devouring everything. Like the sad thing happening there in Hong Kong at the moment with this fire engulfing those high-rising buildings and so many people already dead and so many hundreds more still missing. This ravishing fire, destruction, but then well cleanliness. In this case now, fear. The people feared. Right? They saw this fire on the top of the mountain. And they feared. It's not written in this per se. We've seen it earlier in Exodus, how they feared. And then again, it's going to be so sad to see how they're going to this glory of God. Seeing the glory of God is not going to stop them from making a golden calf. And here I want to swear. Not so much at them, stupid fools, but even myself and all of you hearing these words. Okay? We see the glory of the Lord. Yesterday in the taxi driver on the way to the hotel, speaking about all these prosperity gospel preachers, and they said that, yes, they don't fear God. They know and they abuse God. They don't fear God. Sad. Sad. Every time we sin, we see the glory of the Lord. He's shown himself to us, like I can see the sun coming through the trees here. And we still sin. Verse 18. Moses entered the cloud and went up on the mountain. And Moses was on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. So yes, he went up again. So God, right, there's a cloud waiting now. So he went up the mountain, not to the final place ultimately, where the cloud cover was. He waited, God spoke, God told him up to come up further. He went then most likely to the top or wherever, like to the next stage to where now God is going to speak to him, and ultimately he's going to be there for 40 days and 40 nights. Like Jesus, 40 days and 40 nights in the desert. The people are going to be 40 years in a desert, ultimately. That fullness of time, because time belongs to God. Our lives. Every single thing. These leaves, right? Be they green on that plant still alive, or be they already dead and being devoured by time. Me, everything here, everything, absolutely everything, every atom belongs to God.